Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're here with me today. Let's just take a quick second, settle in, and take a deep breath. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the very architecture of the self. We're going to explore a profoundly somatic, mythic narrative about a woman named Ariella. She literally ventures down into her own internal landscape to unhook a lifelong pattern. Through her story, we're going to discover what it really means to inhabit our own lives, instead of just performing our way through them.
Okay, let's dive into this. What if you didn't have to build walls to be safe? And what happens when the part of you that performs finally exhales? I really want you to let those questions land for a second, right? Because for so many of us, safety has always been defined by how well we can manage ourselves, how well we can brace against the world, or adapt to what everybody else needs us to be. But in this explainer, we're looking at a totally different paradigm. We are looking at what actually happens when we stop abandoning our own center. To really get this, we have to start with a sensory descent. Imagine an old century home. Upstairs, ordinary life is just humming along. Rain is tapping steadily against the window panes, pipes are humming, your calendars and inboxes are demanding attention. But hidden away, there's this quiet staircase leading down into the earth, down into a space called the present sanctuary. When Ariella steps down into this room, the air is thick. It has that deep, settling aroma of cedar and old ink. It's a room built for one exact fragile moment, a person finally choosing to stop negotiating with their fear and just stay. It's not some magical escape. It's really the deeper dimension of our ordinary world.
Now, standing in this sanctuary, Ariella confronts something I think we all know way too well: people-pleasing. But notice how we define it here. It's not some bad habit that you need to feel ashamed of. Not at all. It's an ancient survival spirit. It's this fiercely loyal internal reflex that for years has shaped your posture, your tone, your choices. It kept the peace by teaching you how to just disappear into the comfort of others. It's a part of you that literally learned to survive by making itself small. And this is absolutely crucial. Ariella doesn't violently rip this reflex out of her chest. Instead, she just places a hand over her heart. She feels this survival spirit uncoil, rising up like a shadow stepping right out of her ribs. She looks at it, recognizes its years of loyal protection, and whispers, "You kept me safe, and now I release you." Wow, it's an honoring. It's a gentle, deliberate unhooking of an old pattern that finally gets to slide out of her, like an exhale she has been holding since childhood. The visceral release of this moment is just incredible. This faint silhouette, made of breath and memory, literally unravels. It dissolves into these shimmering strands of golden light that drift upward toward the ceiling, almost like smoke rising from a long-burning fire. And as this heavy, exhausted spirit leaves her, the sanctuary itself responds. The floorboards sigh in relief, the air in the room noticeably brightens, and this subtle spaciousness opens up inside Ariella's chest. It's as if a forgotten room inside of her had just been unlocked.
So with that heavy weight gone, a profound physical transformation takes place. The performed self is defined by this shrinking, bracing posture. Shoulders angled slightly forward in appeasement, eyes constantly scanning for approval, your breath just waiting for permission. But the unperformed self, the self Ariella is stepping into right now, stands with a quiet, sovereign length in the spine. The shoulders are completely relaxed, and not from collapse, but from pure presence. It's a completely unnegotiated way of being in your own body. Ariella steps toward a mirror in the sanctuary, which is veiled in pale fabric. With a deep exhale, she lifts the veil. And the mirror doesn't just show a flat reflection. The surface actually ripples like liquid silver before revealing the truth. She sees herself, but entirely unburdened. There's no leaning forward to appease, no dimming her own light. The mirror seems to speak to her without making a sound, saying, "This is who you are when you are not performing." She isn't just looking at an image, right? She is literally looking at her own return. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the mirror isn't done. The surface goes quiet, but it feels suspended, like it's waiting for the next ripple. Then a soft vibration rises from it. Not a sound, but a sensation. The silver begins to ripple, slow and deliberate, like moonlight sliding over a lake. Ariella feels this magnetic ache in her chest, a pull that is deep, lower down, almost ancient. The air warms up, carrying that faint scent of an old wooden chest, as a single point of light appears right at the center of the glass. It's no larger than a firefly. It pulses once, twice, and expands into a slow-turning spiral of gold. It's condensing, shaping itself with the precision of something that has been waiting a very, very long time. And from the center of that spiral, a presence begins to form.
It steps right across the boundary between mirror and air as if the glass was never even there. It is the open circle. It hovers right above her palm, weightless, warm, completely alive. It's a simple circle with a single opening at the top, like a vessel designed to hold truth without ever trapping it. The edges glow so softly, lit from within by a quiet intelligence. It's unmistakably meant for her. So the crucial point here is that this symbol represents a really profound paradox: wholeness without closure, sovereignty without isolation. Think about it. We are so often taught that to be safe, we have to build a fortress, that to be sovereign and independent, we need to be completely walled off. The open circle completely shatters that myth. It shows us that true safety doesn't require building walls. You can be entirely complete, entirely sovereign, while remaining open to the world around you. The mirror pulses, giving her an invitation. As Ariella lifts her hand, the symbol lowers itself into her palm with the gentleness of a bird choosing to land. The warmth spreads right through her fingers, up her arm, and dissolves into a stream of golden light that sinks directly into her sternum, the exact place where people-pleasing used to live. And then the physical milestones of integration begin. First, her throat softens, dissolving all that tightness of swallowed truths. Next, her ribs widen and her belly unclenches, releasing that constant, exhausting readiness to adjust herself. Then her spine lengthens with a brand new certainty. And finally, a soft, luminous boundary forms around her. Not as some defensive wall, but expanding naturally from the inside out. As that warmth expands outward, filling her ribs and her spine, a message rises up inside her. It's not spoken, it's not shown, but it is deeply remembered. I want you to let this wash over you. You are open, but not exposed. You are whole, but not closed. You can receive without disappearing. You can give without losing yourself. Just let your own nervous system take a moment to recalibrate to those words. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the symbol doesn't sit on her skin like a mark or a brand. It fully integrates. A soft trembling moves through her hands as her body adjusts to this totally new internal gravity. The warmth pulses once, syncing right up with her heartbeat. And as she lets it move through her, the trembling becomes grounding. The release becomes stability. It transforms into this quiet knowing that settles deep into her bones. The sanctuary shifts with a soft, approving exhale. She is held, finally, from the inside. We can actually distill this entire mythic journey into something called the open circle practice. These are 5 practical somatic takeaways that you can start carrying into your daily life right now. Number 1, you can be open without being exposed. 2, you can give without losing yourself. 3, realize that true boundaries form from the inside out. They are energetic, not just brick walls. 4, true belonging always begins by returning to your own center, not by constantly seeking permission from everybody else. And 5, the absolute ultimate truth: you do not need to shrink to be loved. To anchor this whole practice, Ariella uses a mantra, and it's a brilliant one that we can all adopt. I do not perform my way into belonging. I return to my center breath by breath, and I come home. You see, wholeness isn't this one-time magical event where you're instantly fixed forever. No way. It is a daily, deliberate practice. It's the act of returning to your body, returning to your breath, and consciously choosing to inhabit your life moment by moment. Finally, we reach the somatic return. Ariella leaves the present sanctuary. She walks back up those hidden stairs and steps right back into the ordinary corridor of her old home. And you know what? The house hasn't changed. The faded wallpaper is exactly the same, the light coming through the windows is the same, but the woman walking through it, she is fundamentally different. She is no longer constantly anticipating rejection. She is no longer braced for impact. The threshold has moved from the physical room directly into her own chest. She carries her center with her now. And so, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. I really want you to let this echo in your own chest today. Who are you when you finally stop abandoning yourself? What does your unperformed life actually look like? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Take a deep breath, hold on to your center, and I will see you next time.